each of us carry, here, hold on. Each of us carry our own sacred medicine that no one can duplicate, replicate, ever. Now, there are people who share our brand of sacred medicine. There are people who share our recipe of sacred medicine. There are people who share our prescription layout, our doctor's orders, our, whatever you want to call it. But there's a sacred medicine, actually a lot of sacred medicine, that only you can deliver. Period. Now, what I mean by sacred medicine is what you individually are here to give to the world, and really to give to yourself. By giving it out, you give it, right? And by giving it, you give it out. Okay. So, giving yourself your sacred medicine first helps you realize what your sacred medicine even fucking is. Because in all honesty, sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, is to give it to yourself. A lot of times it's pretty easy to give it to other people. But you have to also realize you're not even giving the totality and the depth and the strength, the strongest prescription that you can to those that you love if you can't also give your sacred medicine to yourself. If you can't give yourself the highest dose of the medicine that only you carry, you cannot give it in the doses that are yearned for to give out and receive at the level that we all need them. We all need each other's medicine. Now, here's another next point. And this is a hard one. A lot of times, unfortunately, we base our worth off of our sacred medicine and when it is needed. Because you have to understand that your sacred medicine is always needed. Always. Everyone's sacred medicine is always needed, but not always by the same person. Not always by the same group of people. Not always even really by yourself, but maybe it is by yourself in all honesty. We all still learning. I don't quite know that answer yet. But what I'm saying is, I think about relationships in a very different way than a lot of people do. I could say a lot of people in society, but just a lot of people who don't even consider themselves a part of society. I think of relationships in a very different manner. And I can tell you that by me being able to see and be in relationships in a very different manner than honestly I've ever seen in my life, it lets me step outside of what the norm for people is and see what people quote as the norm. I see it for what it is. And what it is a little concoction of us saying, hey, you person, best friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, child, mother, father, grandma, blah, 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 coworker, boss, okay. I just need you to, okay. Are you, okay. I'm just trying to, listen, I'll let you go since you're not gonna move. Okay. She needed that parking spot, guys. She just really needed it. She was not moving. Okay. She needed my medicine right there. Example. She needed my medicine right there. Oh, and this guy needs it too. Look, I'm just going to give up all of my medicine today with my not giving a fuck about where the hell I park medicine. And see, some medicine you would think, well, who the hell cares if I have that? You know what? I don't give a shit where I park medicine. And there's a lot of people who need that shit. Okay? So anyway, back to what I was saying. We get into this concoction of a relationship where we say, ooh, I need your medicine and you need mine, so we're gonna, and that's beautiful and wonderful. And then there comes a day or a lot of days or hours or minutes or times or moments or whatever you want to call it, where you kind of don't want their medicine and they kind of don't want yours. And so then it's this feeding into, oh, you don't love me. Oh, I'm not good enough for you. Oh, because let's keep in mind, a lot of us aren't stable enough on our feet to understand our worth. And so we kind of base it on external things, particularly our loved ones. That's a huge one. The ones that we love do not always need our medicine all the time. However, you have to understand that your medicine is needed all the time for someone. It doesn't always have to be the person that you're wanting to give it to. Just because you think so-and-so needs heart medication doesn't fucking mean they actually need heart medication. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's a whole thing. And the way that I view relationships, I can only speak for me. The way that I view relationships is I want to make as many connections as possible, and preferably as deep as possible if they're genuine, you know. Like I don't want ingenuine connections. I mean, connections are great all around, and nowadays we can make connections with anyone. I mean, the internet is all over, so we can make connections with anyone. I'm connecting with people right now in this moment, and you might not even know who the fuck I am. But the genuine soul-feeding connections is kind of what we all yearn for, not this base level, like, I can connect to so-and-so and blah blah across the thing because we both have a Nissan. Like, maybe you might need that sometimes, but most likely not, really. So what I'm saying is, these genuine connections that we want to form in our lives, we kind of, not kind of, anyway, we limit ourselves because we have been fed forever and ever, and we have this belief in our head that, oh, we're humans, so we're limited because humans are weak and futile and finite and all of this stuff. But you have to realize that that's a belief, not particularly fact, okay? And so there were groups of humans a long, long time ago, before we kind of got to the point where we were fed that we weren't worthy, that we were powerless, and that something outside of ourselves ruled our existence, like God and stuff. Okay? Now, I don't sit here and say I'm discrediting God, because that's not what I'm doing. If you get me, you get me. You understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is humans are powerful. Humans are infinite. I'm not particularly saying like human body things, but to a degree, I do think that we are. And see, there's a limit on even what I believe right now. And I just say that because I haven't gotten to that point of total infiniteness within my beliefs about myself and my body and my abilities and my humanness. So anyway, what I'm trying to say to you is we put ourselves in these boxes and these limitations and these, we put ourselves in obstacles on purpose. whether we consciously know it's purposeful or not, but we do it on purpose so that we can overcome them. Okay, got you? So we put ourselves into these limitations, and then we say, oh, we can only have one. We can only have this. We can only have that. We can only have the children that we have, and we can only have the spouse, not spouse that we have. We can only have the friends that we have. We can only have blah, 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 blah. Now, people have tested the limits on all of those things to varying degrees. So let's say the limit of I can only have the kids that I have. Well, people adopt other kids. So now that limit is kind of gone, right? Okay, cool. I mean, people still hold that limit, but they don't have to. It's not fact. It's a belief. The spouse thing. There's a whole religious community where y'all can have more than one spouse. Doesn't mean that they go about it in the most pure way. Okay? You can only hold the friends that you hold. Well, only because you have the same things in common, or you hang out at the same place and out of convenience. So what I'm saying to you is, we've limited ourselves to think that if I can't give my medicine to this particular person, to this particular group of people, in this particular way, then I am not worthy. Baby. False. Let me quote Dwight Schrute. False. Not correct. I'm not going to say you're wrong, because let's go back to beliefs. I don't believe there is a right and wrong. I believe there's right for you, and there's right for me, and there's wrong for you, and there's wrong for me. And that just goes according to what my highest self says is right for me and wrong for me. And that's about it. So, it is false, though, for you to think that you're not worthy because you can't give your medicine in a particular way to a particular something. Not true. You are so worthy. And if you allowed yourself to break out of these limitations and make genuine connections far deeper and wider and more expansive, then you would understand even just a tiny, tiny touch that you are so worthy. Your medicine is so necessary and so needed. And it is so vast that maybe one day you could genuinely feel like can't nothing shake my worth. Nothing could shake my self-love. Now, listen, I sit here and spiel all this to you, okay? Because it's downloaded into me from source, from myself, from you know, I'm an antenna and shit, as are you. So I get relayed this information, and then I relay it, and then we continue, you know, we do the whole telephone thing, but hopefully at the end of it, we're not saying some crazy ass shit that was not said at the beginning. But I don't always feel worthy. I don't always feel like I love myself. Hell, fucking 2 hours ago, I wanted to bawl crying because I was like, nobody loves me. I'm just, what's the point? You know? I get it. I fucking get it. Because I want you to know that in order for me to feel these high highs, let's note this. This is a belief I have that it's processing its way out of my space. But because I feel the highest highs, I also feel the lowest lows. I cannot even fucking explain to you the truth and depth of that. However, when I kind of tell myself to shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down, not even to be mean, not to negate what I'm feeling, but to just note that, hey, whoa, you're feeding into some false shit. You are so fucking worthy. What are you talking about? And sometimes there's still a part of me that's like, no, I'm not. But I've learned, I've practiced so much that when those moments come, I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I am fucking worthy. And then in that moment, I do exactly what the fuck I feel like I need to do in that moment. Whether that means I go poop or I sing a made up fucking song, I call so-and-so on the phone, I take random pictures of the grass in a weird way, or like, you know, like literally whatever. Because then I tell myself, hey, I'm listening. Even if it's some weird stuff. Like, why the hell am I walking up to this one random stranger that caught my eye and saying, hey, you're a wonderful person. I have no idea who this fucking human being is. But in this moment, when I'm processing that, you know what? I am worthy. And I said, oh, this person caught my eye. I need to tell them that they're worthy. There would be a lot of parts of me, a lot of parts of a lot of people that'd be like, why? They're going to think you're fucking weird. You don't know this person. They're probably a serial killer. We can run down that rabbit hole. I'm sure you have. I do it all the time. You do it all the time. We all do it all the fucking time. How about we don't run down the rabbit hole? How about we run down a different rabbit hole? How about we run down the rabbit hole of choice? How about we run down the rabbit hole of worth and love and being fucking weird? How about we run down that rabbit hole? How about we run down the rabbit hole of limitlessness? So I walk up to this random person and I look them straight in the fucking soul and I say, hey, you're wonderful. And they look at me like, bitch, you are crazy. What the hell are you talking about? I have no idea who you are. But there's a part of them, the part of them that's in you and in me and in all of us, that says, oh my God, she sees me. And that is how you give your medicine.